Baseball and Whatever with your host, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look, there's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
And Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesty in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamond Cross Forever.
No, stop getting Bond wrong!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Baseball and Whatever. This is episode 67. Holy cow, 67 episodes. I'm Justin. There's Vinny.
Hello.
We're here with you on this wonderful Thursday night. Vinny, I'm not going to lie. I've been up like since 4 a.m., and I worked a 12-hour day today, so don't expect my my best effort tonight. You're going to have to carry the show.
Don't I always?
You do. That's true. Who am I kidding? You always do. Yeah, Maddie is going through sleep regression right now. So we put her down at 8:30 yesterday. I don't think she stopped crying till about 10:30 when she finally fell asleep. And then she woke up, I think, at 2, 3, and 4 and 4:30 last night, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's rough. Is she getting teeth in?
She's got 6 teeth now. She's got 6. So top 4 are in and bottom 2 are in. So
no more coming in right now. That could
not
be
at the moment. No
culprit of it. No, okay.
I don't think so.
Hey, you and Danny Parkins share something together. He was up 5 times last night too. He shared that.
I heard that on the radio today.
His son is going on sleep regression as well.
So you take that on top of a full work day, on top of then open house, and my work is too far away where I can't come home in between. So I've been home. I've been gone since like 7:00 a.m. this morning, and I got home 25 minutes ago. Or half an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. But my dedication to the podcast knows no bounds. I am ready to go, or I'm going to fall asleep.
I couldn't do this by myself.
Of course you could. Of course you could.
I don't even know how to work StreamYard.
Well, yeah, that could be a problem. But
I
anyway,
barely work my setup.
You're doing great. I love for our watchers, our creepers that are watching on YouTube. Vinny's got the nice neon light behind his Ernie Banks jersey now. You can only get that kind of coverage if you watch us on YouTube or Twitch. So, first of all, if you are watching us for the first time, welcome. We are Baseball and Whatever. We do Chicago sports, primarily baseball, although there's not much good stuff to talk about baseball-wise, for the first half, and then we jump to whatever we want, hence the title of the show. This week, we brought back a new segment that we just did a few weeks ago called Musical Mayhem. We pick 5 random bands. Vinny's got a website that pulls 5 random bands. This week, we have... Hold on, let me pull it up. We have Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana, Neil Young, Jimmy Buffett, and an EDM artist by the name of Bonobo, or Bonobo, however you want to pronounce that. So we'll get to that to the second half of the show. But first, if you would like to write into the show and tell us how good or how bad we are, we would love it. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/baseballandwhatever, twitch.tv/baseballandwhatever. You can find us on Twitter at baseballandwhat. We have 800 followers now, Vinny. Well done, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, 800 followers.
Shocking.
You are making some friends on there, right? That's incredible.
Lord, it's a miracle!
You can email the show at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. You can find us on all your podcast apps of choice, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Overcast, whatever you listen to, we are on there. And lastly, we have the text line and the voicemail line is kind of drying up. We haven't had any lately, but the text line and voicemail line is 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. And our Minnesota listeners are through the roof. So if you are one of our Minnesota listeners lately, please write in and tell us, what do you like about our show that you're downloading so many episodes? We appreciate it. It could be that
you're just worried.
It could be. Or it's a bot. I don't know. It's somebody. But hey, our numbers are going up.
St. Paul now.
St. Paul.
You're going to be worried that you're going to, get in a car crash and you're going to wind up in Kathy Bates's guest room. And she's going to break your ankles.
I'm a big fan of your podcast work, and then I'm gonna lose my feet. I have never seen that movie, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But anyway, enough about that. We are going to kick off the show. We don't have any YouTube comments this week or emails or tweets. Do we have any hot takes?
67s?
Oh, famous 67s. See, I told you I'm falling asleep on the job
you
here.
Really are.
Famous 67s. Vinny. The only 67 I know is for the Blackhawks. That would be the Stanley Cup champion and wonderful defensive center, Michael Frolik.
Hold on. I don't think I have the Blackhawks up here.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. I had them. Oh, here we go. Everything changed on me when
That's all right.
Messed with my screen. Okay. Yes, you're right.
Thank you. Also, I want to note, I usually have my fancy dandy baseball and whatever Arctic mug that my sister bought me. A couple weeks ago, I mixed a little bit of apple juice in there that Maddie had, or we had for Maddie just to give it some flavor. I did not know that if you don't clean that, because I'm used to just putting water in it, it will mold. Yeah. So my mug's got mold in it now. Did you know that?
Can't you just clean the?
Well, I could. I didn't have time. I didn't have time today. But yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to go pour the water, and I'm like, that is not supposed to be there. Anyway, famous 67s. Frolik is the only one I know for the Blackhawks. For the Cubs, I can't think of any. Are there any Cubs that wore 67?
We have 3 Cubs.
Wow.
We
okay.
Have Matt Swarmer, not Schwarmer, but Swarmer. Bullpen guy just pitched this year, earlier this year. Not good.
Vaguely remember him, yes.
Yeah, wasn't good. My guy, Alfonso Rivas.
Oh, yeah.
And Tsuyoshi Wada.
Oh, I forgot.
2014.
God, I forgot. Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a really long time ago.
I think he came up in a trivia question.
Yes, he did.
Greg
back
had, right? He was
whose guy or which guy, Cub or whatever?
Yeah, ALCS. What was it? He was ALCS MVP, wasn't he?
Yes, for the Red Sox, right?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, I retained some of that information. Yeah, Greg needs to come back and do some more of those.
We do. Yeah, we do. We got to get some more. Those were fun.
There's not much going on for the season. So that's
anymore.
The Cubs right there for 3. You did miss 2 Blackhawks. Let's go back to those.
What do we got?
Tanner Kiro.
Oh God, yeah, he would have been
2016 to 18.
About 5-6 years ago. Yep. Prospect
and
didn't pan
Jacob Nilsson.
That one I do not know at all.
Just recently, 2019.
Okay. I don't remember him. He must not have played very many games.
Probably not. He was only there 1 year.
Yeah.
Do you have any Chicago White Sox?
Oh, God, no. I have none. I'm the wrong guy to be asking White Sox questions.
Well, we got one this year, Bennett Sousa.
Okay.
Bernardo Flores Jr., 2020. Greg's probably
screaming at his this TV screen or computer screen right now.
Yep. Brady Lail, L-A.
Who are these guys?
L-A. I can't read that. Yeah, L-A-I-L. Lail. Brady Lail.
Okay.
Currently with he was with Seattle last year. He's not on the majors right now, or hasn't pitched in the majors yet.
Okay.
Caleb Ferrier.
No.
Frere. F-R-A-R-E.
Okay.
Frere. Yeah. Brad Goldberg.
No.
Juan Minaya.
Is that Omar Minaya's son, maybe?
Juan, M-I-N-A-Y-A.
A-Y-A? Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Scott Carroll.
Oh, yes. Was he an infielder? I feel like I remember him playing for the Nationals at one point.
Scott Carroll played with the Cubs, too.
Okay, then now that
he was
maybe
a
it's
pitcher.
A different guy. Okay, it is not the same guy I'm thinking of then.
He is in the infield. He's just a pitcher. He's his last picture on Baseball Reference has him in a Cubs hat. It does not say he actually pitched for the Cubs. He had 2014 to 2016 with the Chicago White Sox. So, yeah, he never pitched for the Cubs, just the White Sox, but he's donning a Cubs hat.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Randy Williams, 2009 to 2010.
That's not. Oh, I'm thinking of Woody Williams. No, I can't. I don't know who Randy Williams is. Woody Williams was a St. Louis Cardinal.
All right, and Jim Kern, 1982 to 1983.
I don't know who any of these guys are.
No, well, Bennett Sousa is the only one I
Bennett
recognize.
Sousa I've heard of. Yeah.
I'm sure Scott Carroll playing there 3 years. I'm sure Greg
knows who he is, especially if he's a pitcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would know.
All right, now Chicago Bears.
Oh God, I really don't know.
There's
my Bears.
someone wearing it currently.
Really?
Yes. Plays
All right.
center.
Center. Oh, not Cody Whitehair? No. Sam Mustipher. I only know that because I just Googled it right now. The sanctity of the game has been broken.
Yeah, gosh, you're just as bad as Pretzel Vince.
Yeah.
Then before that was Jordan Mills. Remember Jordan
Okay,
Mills?
I do remember Jordan Mills.
Bad, not good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Josh Beekman. I think he was
No,
another
I don't know
lineman.
who that is.
Yeah, center guard.
Okay.
I vaguely remember him. Yeah, not a lot here. George Seals, 1965 to 1971.
No.
No, doesn't ring a bell at all.
No.
Didn't really do too much. Not a lot of accolades on his Pro Football Reference page.
It's not like that Bulldog whatever guy we talked about last week.
Nope. And then Ted Karras?
No.
Karras? Would
No.
that be Karras? Or
Sure.
Karras? Sure, yeah. Thanks.
Karras,
Justin,
sir. I don't know.
Karras.
Okay.
I'm looking at his pronunciation on Pro Football Reference. Ted Karras, one-time NFL champ, so he's got that to his name.
Okay, well, it's more than I can say for myself.
Yep. Other than that, Jerry Fontenot is
Mike Fontenot's long-lost dad?
Probably. Yep. Jerry Fontenot. Played with the Bears from 1989 to 1996.
Okay.
And that's about it. Yeah.
That's a hell of a list, and I'm assuming we have no
Bulls.
No Bulls. Yeah, Bulls.
No.
Bulls.
Not Bulls till 71.
They're not fans of the higher numbers, I guess, in the NBA, huh?
I guess not.
All right. Well, Vinny, do you have any hot takes or no? For the hot take segment?
I don't. I mean, I could make up hot takes.
You could make one? No, we don't have to do that.
We don't need to do that. No.
No, I don't really. I can't think of anything that really bothered me or upset me this week. I will say we don't. This isn't a hot take, but I have seen more trailers and more interviews for the new Clerks movie. I'm getting very excited for that movie.
Does it look good?
It looks good. It looks good.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I wouldn't call that a hot take though, but yeah, other than that, I got nothing.
Okay. Yeah,
I got nothing.
We can move on.
All right, let's move on. Real quick, though, before we move on, we'd like to thank our partner In the Clutch for joining us here on Baseball and Whatever. In the Clutch is an awesome sports apparel company that is known for their licensed MLB, Negro League, and MLS apparel, along with great shirts to rep your favorite retro hockey, baseball, and football teams. Even better, if you head to intheclutch.com right now at checkout, use promo code BASEBALLANDWHAT to get 10% off your order. Once again, head over to intheclutch.com, pick out a shirt that you like, and at checkout, use promo code BASEBALLANDWHAT for 10% off your order. You will not be disappointed. So thank you to all the guys and gals over at intheclutch.com. Thank you guys very much. All right, let's hit the baseball talk.
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
All right. I have some bad news for White Sox fans and our third co-host, Greg in particular. Vinny, I think the Sox are done. Are they done? I'd say they're done. I know there's
so. I
they're
mean,
so,
they
they're
won
so done.
2 in a row. They're
They
almost on
did.
a winning streak.
But
they're playing the Royals.
Yeah. That's like beating up on someone. You're like a little sibling at this point, even though you're not much older and stronger than that sibling, so to speak. Crazy week for the White Sox. So first of all, the team is just tanking hard minus the last 2 wins. And then we have Tony La Russa is out indefinitely. Obviously, I think it's pretty well documented. We do not like him on this show as a manager, but obviously I don't think any of us would wish ill against him or wish harm against him. So hopefully, speedy recovery to Tony. But yeah, he's out indefinitely. He's got some heart issues flying back to Arizona. So Miguel Cairo.
Is it heart issues? I didn't see.
That's what I had read online was heart issues. Yes.
Okay.
Or something with his heart. So obviously
the White Sox are playing so bad that they're causing Tony even
heart issues. Yes. Yeah. I know Steve Stone was on the radio out here in Chicago, and he was talking about how you may disagree with Tony's moves and stuff like that, but you can't argue his level of preparedness, and that was really causing a strain on him. So obviously, is it just Steve Stone backing up his buddy? Probably.
So he's not fit to do the job, is what Steve Stone
That
really
sounds
just
like
said.
it to me. Yes,
Admitted to that.
Yes.
That the job is too much for him to handle.
Now the other thing, and I don't like to put the tinfoil hat on because I can't stand people that do, but
Justin, you have a tinfoil hat on almost every time we talk about stuff on this podcast.
That's true. But
you just hate yourself.
Yes. Well, that's a whole nother issue. But the part of me wonders, and I could be completely off base with this, and if I am, tell me so. But do you ever get the idea that, they can't fire him because he's Jerry Reinsdorf's guy? But if it's a health issue, whether real or made up, and I'm not saying that they did make something up, I'm just throwing this out into the ether here, this makes it a lot easier to let him step away without having any, egg on their face, so to speak.
But you have to get Tony to go along with it. So
right.
So either Tony is going to admit it himself, but not want to do it public. So that's like a threefold plan there. First, you got to get Jerry, because Jerry's got to be on board with it, because you're essentially firing him. So you got to fire him behind the scenes with Jerry being okay with it. You got to have Rick Hahn to come up with the plan first of all, and have the Stones to actually say something.
Oh well, no, if that's up to Rick, then we know that's not going to happen.
And then you need Tony to go along with it and say, sure, what the hell, I don't want to ruin my legacy anymore, but he's already a Hall of Fame baseball person. So
well, that is true.
What is what more could he? He can't tarnish. They're not going to take him out of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I mean, they haven't taken him out with his DUIs, so what's going to really cause him?
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess when you put it that
his
way,
way out of the Hall of Fame at this point. So, what does he care? And he seems like he's maybe I don't know, too much pride. I guess maybe to
I guess when you put it that way, in terms of Tony going along with it, I think that would be the toughest thing. It's just such a weird situation because there's documentation, there's photographs of him on the field doing the lineup card before the game, and then the other thing that was a really big story out here in Chicago was that a lot of the players were not told what was happening. They didn't find out until it popped up on the Jumbotron at Guaranteed Rate Field here in Chicago.
Interesting.
So there was a lot of back and forth between should someone from the organization have wrangled them up and all told them, or is it better to let them go through their routine because they were still in the pregame atmosphere, so to speak. I frankly don't care. I just kind of find it funny that was such a big talking point this week. So
that just makes perfect sense for this season that that happened that way. You would think you'd be like, well, Tony's not feeling that well. He's, complaining. I'm sure he's complaining about his chest hurting, which at his age is probably a serious thing where, I'm sure if something happened there, get the heck out of here, go see a doctor, get him to the medical staff or whatever. But I don't know why you wouldn't wrangle the troops together and say, hey, here's what's going on. And they have to find out from the Jumbotron. That's silly.
It is, right? And then a few people
ridiculous.
found out, they were on social media before the game. Some of the players found out on Twitter that this was happening. It's just a weird situation. And then you got Miguel Cairo taking over, which I saw the White Sox released a press statement that, Miguel Cairo is 2-0 as our manager last season when Tony had to step away for a couple games. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know why you... it is what it is. Yeah. You don't need to give me his stat line for being a manager, but... Miguel Cairo, I remember him being a Cardinal, middle infielder, utility guy. You don't really hear much about him at all as a bench coach. But then the story gets even weirder that supposedly the story broke today, at least according to Chicago Sports Radio, that the players held a team meeting before the first game before the first game without Tony. And they did not allow Miguel Cairo in the room, and it was a team meeting all about how we need to go out and just have fun. And I'm like, well, you are way past due on the whole having fun thing.
You're only having fun if you're giving up on the season. I don't know.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Yeah, having fun. I think they kind of need to buck up and stay focused. But teach his own. I mean, whatever. But that's I saw something on that they had a players only meeting, which it went better than Kenny's meeting that he had with them because they came out and won 2 games in a row. So
Mark DeRosa was on the Score today, and they were interviewing him about the exact same thing. They asked him that exact same question, and he's like, "That is not the message I would have if I was on that team. All right, let's just go have fun. Like, no, we need to make a run, and if we don't start like today, it ain't gonna matter. You know what I mean? Like somehow, some ungodly way, like they still." Despite like what I think they're 4 or 5 games back now, they maybe inched their way a little bit closer now with the last 2 wins. I don't know, but
6 before these last 2 games.
Okay.
I haven't checked the
so like
standings.
even with all of that, like we're still a month away from the end of the season, and they're still like not officially eliminated, not officially out of it. Like there are crazier things in some alternate dimension where they could make a run still. At this point, I don't see it happening, but they could do it technically. Just what a weird week to be a White Sox fan. I would love, Greg's going to have to write in and tell us how he's doing. I've seen a few of his posts on Twitter, and it's usually just like a garbage can emoji or stuff like that. And fire, yeah.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage, yes.
They are currently 4 games back. Cleveland is on a 2-game losing streak. So
okay, well,
I mean, then they got a lot of games in the division left, so there's a chance. I mean, poor White Sox, poor Greg.
I feel for the White Sox fans.
They just dangle it out right in front of them, and then they go on a bad streak, and then they're 2 games under 500, and then they're 2 games over 500, and then they're 2 games under 500. This is an awful season for the White Sox.
Oh, it's horrible
to be strung along like this.
It's like you're just waiting for somebody to put you out of your misery, but they won't do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or they can't. Yep. I guess. I don't know what it is. The only other, I have 2 other Sox things for you, Vinny. First one, I saw this stat on Twitter, and I thought this was pretty perfect for what the White Sox season has been like. All right, so this was as of, I think, 2 games ago, the White Sox were 63-63 for 2022. To go on from that, the first half of 2022, they were 46-46. Second half of this season, they are 17-17. And then the last 18,028 games since August 16th of 1906, they were 9,014 and 9,014.
Weird.
And yeah, and if you remember, they had that
curse.
Is there a Billy Goat involved? I don't know. But yeah, like the first half of last season they came out so strong at the All-Star break and had a commanding lead over the division, and then they're like 500 now. And I mean, so that just goes to show you how much of a mediocre average team they are. They're not they're not who we thought they are in channeling my inner Denny Green.
It's interesting because the first half of the season they had like specific performances the pitching staff was really good, and they had great offensive performances from Yermin Mercedes for like that first month and a half or whatever it was, and then you had different games where other guys stepped up, and then the offense was carried by Yasmani Grandal for the second half. No one else was really hitting. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. We all, I think we all picked them to win the division. I had them winning the World Series, and that I wasn't the only person. There were a lot of people that had them. But this team reminds me of the Cubs without the World Series, but just the Rizzo, Bryant, these guys are promised to be, Luis Roberts promised to be a perennial MVP. Does he have one single MVP vote? Maybe he got one last year.
He can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy. Eloy can't stay healthy. I mean, but even when Luis has been on the field this year, it hasn't been this jaw-dropping performances from him. I mean, he's played good baseball, but it's not this, perennial MVP. He's, supposed to be the Cuban Mike Trout, right?
Yep. Yeah, I don't see that yet.
I don't see that anywhere. Maybe if he can stay on the field long enough, but yeah, I just get those types of vibes from this team that, you're promised one thing and everybody, sees the potential. They do really well coming up, and then they get here and it just kind of blah. Like, it's just what?
Do you think it has anything to do with them giving all those? I mean, big in terms of like for us, it's a big contract and big money. But like, do you think that has anything to do with those guys that came up, didn't really even play a game yet in the pros, and got those huge deals and huge signings? Or is that overrated? I guess.
I don't think so. I think that's overrated. I would like to think that it's overrated, that they'd want to win a championship, that, winning, at least winning one is more important to them than the big contract. But I don't know. Everybody's different. But I just think that, the competitor and them being a professional athlete, they don't seem like those, that would be their type of, background or
their MO,
their personality. But it's just, they're just not producing. I mean, I'm looking at Luis Roberts. Yeah, he doesn't have. He was back or runner up for Rookie of the Year in 2020.
Okay.
But yeah, he has not gotten one MVP vote, and I mean, he had a really good year last year. This year is just very pedestrian with a 787 OPS. I mean, his OPS plus is 121, but it's just that's good. It's not great. Which is what he's supposed to be.
I'll be honest, for the longest time, I was more upset during the Quintana and Eloy trade that we lost Eloy, but I'm more upset that we lost Dylan Cease now at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
that one hurt.
That one hurts. I mean, I would give up Eloy again. I mean, I feel like he's just so. I mean, he has potential, but he can't stay healthy at all. Like you said, him and Luis Robert. But the only other thing I had for the White Sox, MLB.com released a story this week where they rated the most underappreciated White Sox player for every team. If you have not looked yet, would you like to take a guess who the White Sox most underappreciated player was?
I already took a look.
Okay, it is Johnny Cueto. Vinny, do you agree that Johnny Cueto is the most underappreciated player on the White Sox?
Well, I don't know.
It's a weird like question.
Yeah, I guess maybe, but being on Twitter, a lot of people love White Sox Twitter loves
Johnny Cueto. Yeah,
and he rightfully so. He's been great. I guess maybe he gets overlooked because he came in later in the season. He's not Dylan Cease. He's not Michael Kopech. Those are the two young
big guys,
studs that they had. Lance Lynn's been there since last year, and he was, great last year. Not so much this year, but I guess underappreciated. I feel like White Sox Twitter would have a better. Well, it'd probably be kind of skewed all over the place on who would be the most underappreciated. I'm sure people would say Yohan Moncada. I'm sure there's probably other players as well that, fans would probably come up with. But I don't think they would say Johnny Cueto is the most underappreciated White Sox player, just because I think they all appreciate what he's done. He's gone out there and pitched at least 6 innings and has. I mean, I think his
called
last
out the
start
team.
today was great. He only gave him 1 earned run, and then his 2 starts before that were a little shaky. But for the season, he's been great. So I don't believe that. I mean,
to his credit, guy that was sitting at home for the first half of the season, he's probably pitching himself into a nice short-term contract next year.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's with the White Sox, I don't know, but
he was a name that I thought the Cubs should take a flyer on.
I was thinking the same thing.
During the offseason. I even posed that question on Twitter, and someone told me no, flat out no, pass. And I was like, well, I mean, they need arms. Why not give him a shot? I always liked Johnny Cueto.
Yeah.
When he was with San Francisco. Kansas City, right?
Cincinnati.
Yeah. Cincinnati. But yeah, I always enjoyed him. I always thought he was a fun pitcher to watch on the mound because he's always changing things up on his timing and delivery and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a pitcher that I wanted the Cubs to go after and kind of just have as that depth piece, but they didn't, and the Sox did, and the Sox are reaping the benefits from that right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any other Sox tidbits. You got anything other Sox related?
I think we're good.
All right, we can move on. That sound is the window closing a little bit more on the White Sox. I almost said Stanley Cup run. The White Sox World Series run. Wrong sport. Let's move over to the Cubs. I'm honestly, I feel like we're hitting that stride now of the season where we're going to have more of like Bears talk and maybe Bulls and, well, not Blackhawks because they're going to be awful, but more Bears and Bulls talk lately because the baseball seasons are slowly winding down in the next few weeks. For the Cubs, the only thing that I really wanted to bring up I thought was interesting was by winning the finale in Toronto yesterday, the Cubs recorded their first month of 500 ball in the season for 2022. And if you want to be more depressed, that is the first time they've had a 500 season or 500 month since May of 2021.
Lord, it's a miracle.
So when you think back, they almost went almost two full seasons completely under 500. So, but you know, this team has been more exciting. I know we talked about it, I think, on our last 2 weeks ago before we had Andy Fry on, that at least they're a little more fun and exciting to watch because it's all young guys. I know Rivas got a call back up because of, they had an open spot, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So he's back again. I don't.
Got injured, but
yeah, I mean, I think you were very high on him. I kind of was starting to buy into him, but I don't know if he's the answer. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll turn it around in the offseason. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's been exciting to watch. I saw ESPN Sunday Night Baseball even flexed a few Cubs games coming up into their schedule, which if you would have told me they were going to do that, I'd say you're crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so you know, I feel like a broken record, but I'm cautiously optimistic for next season now. If these guys continue to improve and you pick up a few decent veterans, I think they still need at least a decent veteran pitcher for the starting rotation.
Yep.
Because you don't know what you're going to get from Hendrix next year with the injury he's got going on right now. If Keegan Thompson's out hurt, right?
They're kind of shutting him. I think they're shutting him down.
Okay.
Just because this is, I think, the most he's pitched in his career so far. So they're just
he's doing well still. Justin Steele keeps improving. Stroman has been lights out for the most part lately since he came back. Caleb Killian.
Justin Steele,
go ahead.
he's been has a sub-1 ERA since the All-Star break.
Wow.
I think it was it was under 80. I think the last time I saw it.
That's pretty good.
He's been on fire.
He has. That's pretty impressive. And then you factor in Stroman, who's been pretty well. I mean, they have I don't want to call them building blocks because some of those guys are a little bit older, but and then you look around the diamond and I see something there. It's just a matter of can they put it all together, you know?
Yep.
But the only other thing I have for the Cubs that I thought was kind of interesting is that same MLB.com article ranked Christopher Morel is the most underappreciated Cubs player, which I'll be honest, I think I disagree pretty vehemently with that one. I feel like Cubs fans really enjoy what he brings to the table.
I think so too. Again, I don't
unless it's like a nationwide
is it
thing
from the players. Is it a players vote or
no? It was literally just one of the writers going through each team. I think for the Brewers they had like Rowdy Tellez was the most underappreciated one. I'm like, I don't know about that either, but
yeah, I feel like they're just picking fan favorites.
And saying they're underappreciated.
Yeah, I don't get that because I feel like most people would appreciate Christopher Morel. Nick Madrigal, I feel like would be an underappreciated
since he's been back.
He's been very good since he's been back, but I think more underappreciated than Christopher Morel.
They do preface the article by saying that your team's fans may have seen what these players mean, but the rest of baseball has not caught on. Maybe this will help. So that does make a little more sense. White Sox, Johnny Cueto. To think.
And that would make sense then. If he's doing it by that, then yes, I would get that because if you would say Johnny Cueto to most people,
they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that guy is an old bum. He was awful with San Francisco his last couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I would get that. And not many people are gonna hear Christopher Morel's name and say, "Oh yeah, I know who that guy is.
Right.
He's great."
Yeah.
I guess I can buy into that.
Makes a little more
those
sense.
two names then. Yep.
Makes a little more sense.
Yep.
Yeah, they have here the most exciting player on a not exciting team. Morel provides a spark every time he does something on the field. When the Cubs are good again, he will be one of the best supporting players in the league, which that's pretty high praise. So
it is.
We'll see.
It is.
We will see. I'll I'll be honest, that's all I got for the Cubs because their season.
I was going to say
pretty much
the
over.
big news last week that broke after the podcast, and it was on Friday. John Morrissey, is it Morrissey?
Yes.
Yeah, he broke that the Cubs are potential landing spot for Shohei Ohtani this offseason.
God, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, and then I saw people on Twitter saying, no, we don't want him, which makes no sense. And their rationale was, no, we don't want him because the Angels have him and they still can't do anything.
Well, in the statement, it was said that the Cubs would have to give up their three or four best prospects. They're gone in the trade, and I think that's what people are saying. Well, you built
that
up
makes
the
more
farm
sense.
system, and you're going to trade it all away. But I don't think they're going to have to do that.
He's only got 1 year left, right?
Yeah, he's got 1 year left. So I think the value goes down there. The Angels are looking to trade him, so therefore the value again is going to drop when you're trying to trade a player. The only thing that's going to raise it back up is if you get a bidding war.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's probably going to be teams that are going to be in on him that are going to want to trade for him. But the Cubs they were one of the runner-ups to sign him when he came over to the MLB. So they have that going for him. I don't know if he's got a no-trade clause or not. So
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm guessing not if they're kind of openly talking
Shopping him.
trades.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear that come up at all during the discussions at the trade deadline. But it would be interesting if the Cubs did trade for him. I'd be all for it. A guy that's an ace of a staff and a middle of the order hitter. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to cost to get him over here. And I'm sure it'll hurt on some of the the prospects that go over, but I don't know. He's a once in a lot. I mean,
generational player.
There hasn't been a player like him since Babe Ruth. I don't know. I would love to see him on there. I get people falling in love with prospects, but they're just that. They are just prospects. Especially as Cub fans, we've seen list of prospects that have come through and have been raved on. And now, again, it is a different era. It's a different front office. So, yes, those things definitely don't hold the same water, but still they are just prospects. Who knows? They could blow out their knee the next time they play. We don't know. The same thing goes for Ohtani too if you're trading for him. But I mean, if the Cubs trade for him, that's awesome. If they don't, okay.
Either way,
I can't. I mean, I got to trust Jed and Carter Hawkins. I just got to trust them at this point, and that they're going to do what's best for the team. I'm not one of these people that thinks they need to be fired. I think they've been doing well so far. There's been a lot of good positives in the organization and in the farm system and with development that we haven't seen before that since it's been a while. So
been a long time, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm okay with whatever happens. It'd be great if they signed him. After next season, go ahead and sign him. Spend the money. If it just costs money, that doesn't hurt anything except the budget. But hopefully, they should be at the top anyways. Especially if they get a player like Shohei Ohtani, they're going to get the seats filled up. So there's going to be more money coming in anyways. So
you just got to ask Papa Ricketts to open up his checkbook. That's it.
Right? Exactly. Maybe Tom will fly out there to get the deal done again. So.
With his khakis and coat or whatever the hell he wears all the time.
Right.
New Balance. I shouldn't talk. I wear New Balance running shoes. So.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. Okay.
I did want to talk about Jeremiah Estrada. Did you see him pitch yesterday?
He looked.
Did you see that fastball that he threw? That looked like it was on a line.
It did.
It was. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest Googling Jeremiah Estrada. I'm sure it will pop up on Twitter. The pitch that he threw, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. It looks like it doesn't dip at all. It looks like it's on a straight line, which is pretty much. It's almost impossible to do that. But reading into the metrics on it, his spin rate on that was so much that it, I guess, deceived the eye, and making it look like it was actually going straight. It just had that much spin on it.
Wow.
Which is
Holy
ridiculous.
cow.
And it was, they were saying that he probably has the best fastball because of the spin rate on it, is the best fastball in all of Major League right now. His big thing is whether he's going to be able to control it. His slider is very good as well. As again, if he can control it, he'll be great. That is a name for Cub fans to keep an eye on, Jeremiah Estrada, and definitely Google him. Go check out some of the. I think it might have been the Pitching Ninja had a couple of the clips of him pitching in Toronto. So
I'll have to go back.
He struck out 2 in the
those.
1 inning of work that he did. So we'll definitely have to be keeping an eye on him, but he definitely appears to be a good bullpen piece, hopefully, of the future.
I'm all on board with that. Their bullpen, I will give them credit. It seems like they can always put together a semi-decent bullpen lately.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
All right, last thing, if we take a look around the MLB, the only really thing I saw was the other day, it sounded like the MLPA had sent out notices to minor league baseball players that they were going to push to unionize in the minors. So I'll be very curious to see how that comes about. I mean, that sounds great to me. A lot of those guys, I mean, we've talked about it. We're pretty documented that, especially during the lockout, a lot came to light with those guys. They don't have easy lives. Granted, I know everyone's gonna say, oh, they're playing a game for a living, but they're not making, they're barely making a sustainable wage. Not
a living wage.
Not a living wage, no. I hope something comes of it. I think there's going to be a little bit of a battle. I don't think it's going to be an easy transition. I don't see management wanting to, okay, that's fine, go right ahead. I don't see that happening either. But the MLBPA, at least in the back in the day, they were one of the strongest unions around. So we'll see how they handle this. But
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens of that. It just seems like a big undertaking to get all those players unionized. Another thing is, are they going to have a separate CBA compared to
that's
the
a really good question.
MLB? So then the owners are going to have to be negotiating on 2 fronts. They're really not going to like that.
The minors will be on a lockout. The pros will still be playing, but they won't have any call-ups. It'll just be a bunch of scrubs. It'll be
wild.
Us.
I mean, good for them to do something. Hopefully everything works out and it's all smooth and we don't have any more lockouts. Knock on wood on that. But good for them. It's good to see them fighting for, I guess,
the little guy. Yeah.
That's great to see. So we'll see what comes of it, but good for the minor league system, the players, that they can actually hopefully get a living wage. Granted, they're playing a kids game, but I mean, it's for entertainment. They should be making some sort of livable wage to continue doing that, because I'm sure plenty of people like baseball, and a lot of these guys are trying to make their way up to the majors. So why not, at least
invest
give
in
them
them?
a chance. Give them a chance to make that happen by giving them a living wage.
That you nailed it. Well, I guess, should we move on to who's hot and who's not? I said it correctly this week.
You did. Good job, Justin.
All right, let's roll.
And now, folks, it's time for
Who's hot?
So damn hot.
Oh, hot.
Because I'm a hot little potato right now.
And who's not?
I'm afraid that the conditioners left me cold.
Freezing my royal Rastafarian name off.
This guy sucks.
All right, Vinny, take it away.
All right, we are going to do just the month of August. I'm not going to go into the weekly one. So we will start with the White Sox, since they still are the better team in town. Justin, who is hot for the month of August for the White Sox?
All right, for the entire month. God, I feel like half the team's been hurt. All right, this is a shot in the dark. I'm going to go Jose Abreu. Ooh. I have no idea then.
It was Eloy.
Really?
Yes.
I would not have expected that.
Eloy hit 371, 461, 505, and had an OPS of 966 with 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, a 13.9 walk rate, and a 1.34 ISO percentage, BABIP of 434, and a weighted runs created plus of 182. Who was not hot?
Oh, God. Not hot. Let me think here. I got to go with the same guy I think I've said the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that would be Yoan Moncada.
That is correct.
All right.
Good
All
job,
right. 1 for
Justin.
2. 1 for 2.
Yes, Yoan Moncada has not been good, or was not good for the month of August. He hit 184, 280, 287 for 567 OPS, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, a 29% strikeout rate, and a ISO of 103, a BABIP of 246, and a weighted runs created plus of 65. Justin, do you even know what ISO means?
No.
No.
What does it mean, Vinny? Enlighten me.
ISO measures the raw power of a hitter by taking only extra base hits and the type of extra base hit into account. For example, a player goes 1 for 5 with the double, has an ISO of 200. So it's called isolated power.
Okay, I can see where they're going with that then.
The metric. So
okay,
yes.
See, it's funny. So, I always thought what you just described, I always thought that was kind of like what slugging percentage is, but that is not what slugging percentage is.
Slugging percentage also takes into singles.
Okay,
well.
Gotcha.
This is only
extra base hits. Got it.
Hits.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. And cool. I think average is around 200, if I'm not mistaken.
I can see that. Okay.
So, yes. So the White Sox players are... they're not. Let's see.
Not good.
ISO average is 140. Excellent is 250. Great is 200. So, yes, both the White Sox players. Eloy was almost at average for raw power or isolated power. So yeah. Not good on the power front for the White Sox, but that's kind of a given this season that they are lacking home runs. So,
that is true.
Especially when Elvis Andrus comes in and he's ranked, I think, who is tied for 4th or 5th on the team with home runs?
Yes, he was. He was.
Okay.
Not a good look.
No. On that note, moving on, for the Cubs, Justin, who was hot for the month of August?
All right,
I'll give you a hint. He hit his 100th home run.
That would be the coffee man himself, Ian Happ.
That is correct.
Yes, Ian Happ hit 275, 319 on-base percentage, slugged 532 with an OPS of 851, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, 257 ISO, and a 29.3% strikeout rate. He had a BABIP of 348 and a weighted runs created plus of 135. Who was not hot this month?
I'm going to go with, just because I remember the last couple months or last couple weeks, he was in it constantly, and that would be our guy, Seiya Suzuki. I feel like he's turned it around a little bit the last week or so, but
I mean, his numbers aren't like they're not like Yoan Moncada's. It's just not that. It's just not good. Yeah. It's not great. It's not atrocious. It's just meh. 252 average, 328 on base percentage, 369 slugging for a 697 OPS, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. His isolated power is 117 and a strikeout rate of 20.7%. BABIP of 308 and a weighted runs created plus of 96. So it's just about average. So not great. But for I think there were only 3 Cubs that actually qualified for at bats. So yes, he was the lowest of the 3.
Okay.
So, 3rd place, I guess, still gets the bronze medal. Moving on to the MLB. All
right.
Justin, who was hot? This guy played for Houston, or plays for Houston.
I'm going to go Jose Altuve.
I feel like that's your go-to.
That's my go-to because that's who comes up right away.
Yeah. I
have no idea.
Well, he's another star on the team.
Bregman. All
job.
right,
Yes,
there we
Alex
go.
Bregman hit 362 on base percentage of 452, slugged 681 for an OPS of 1.133, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs, isolated power of 319, and a strikeout rate of 8.7%, a BABIP of 414, and a weighted runs created plus of 277. Who was not hot for the month of August? This guy plays for Cincinnati.
Joey Votto was injured for half of the month, right? So it can't be Joey Votto.
Yeah, he didn't qualify.
He didn't qualify. Shoot, is it the shortstop? I feel like that their shortstop's come up a couple times. I don't remember what the shortstop's name is though.
I don't know. You have to say it. I don't know the guy's position.
All right, who is it?
Jose Barrio. Barrio? Is it Barrio or Barrio?
I think it's I thought it was Barrios, but I could be wrong.
Barrio
probably is the right way to say it.
Yeah, you're thinking of the pitcher from.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah. So he Jose Barrio. Now I'm confused.
Now you're in your head now.
Yeah, now I'm in my head, which happens easily when I'm pronouncing names. Jose Barrio hit 151, 180, 233 with an OPS of 413, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, a .081 isolated power, and a 46.1% strikeout rate, a BABIP of 256, and a weighted runs created plus of 5. Not good for Mr. Jose.
No, not good at all. Jeez.
Yeah,
Woof.
he plays for Cincinnati, so what do you expect?
As anybody really care at Cincinnati?
Yep. I don't think the owner cares.
No, the owner definitely doesn't care. That's been well documented with some of his quotes. Or was it Pittsburgh? It might have been Pittsburgh. I don't remember. Cincinnati. I think it was Cincinnati. Doesn't matter.
Either one.
They're both garbage teams and garbage franchises, so. Send me your angry,
Right.
Send Vinny your angry tweets.
Yes, please do.
All right, that does it for baseball, but we do have a little Bears talk, so let's jump to the Bears real quick before we get to our musical mayhem.
Manures of the Midway, where the guys talk the pile of horse crap that...
Uh-oh. That's all right.
Technical difficulties. Okay, well...
A pile of horse crap that is the Chicago Bears, but maybe not this season? I don't know. Maybe not. What do you got?
Did you watch did you see the outcome of the third preseason game?
I caught the highlights of it, yes.
Okay. Then that's pretty much all you needed to see because it was probably all of Justin Fields.
It was.
He only had 2 incompletions that game, 3 touchdowns. Granted, it wasn't against the complete first-string Cleveland Browns defense, but he did what needed to be done.
Right.
That's what you need to do against lesser opponents. You need to pick them apart and make it look easy like he did. Touchdown passes of 22, I think it was 12 and 24 if I'm not mistaken. Those are all deep passes. That's what you need. And granted, on I think the third one to Cole Kmet, it was on a broken coverage, but he found him and made the pass right to him. It wasn't right. It was right in his breadbasket. It wasn't anything bad. It was a perfectly designed play. I am super high on the Bears right now.
So am I.
I think they're going to easily beat 6 wins. They have an easy schedule. I saw Sports Illustrated just came out today and said the Bears are going to win 3 games, but the Lions are going to win 9 games.
Oh, there's no way in hell the Lions are going to win 9 games.
I don't know.
Give me a break.
What did the Lions do?
They still have the coach that said they were going to bite people's ankles on the way down, right? Like that nut job can't coach.
I don't get it. I mean, they didn't do much more than what the Bears did this offseason, and they don't really. I mean, Jared Goff, really?
Jared Goff is a known entity, too. I would take Justin Fields over Jared Goff just because I think Justin Fields has a higher ceiling. Granted, we don't know if he can get there, but...
And they made changes, too. Like, they made changes to the coaching staff. There was an overhaul of the team, whereas the Lions are just the Lions again, and they were awful last year. A lot of people point to, well, they lost a lot of close games. Well, yeah, they lost those games.
They still lost, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't win them. They were winless for most of the season. Yeah. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the Bears should easily finish 3rd in the division. the super optimist in me sees them surprising people and pushing for the division win. I mean, they did it the first year under Nagy.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, they don't have Khalil Mack. I mean,
No.
but they didn't have him last year.
True.
He was out for most of the year. We'll see. I deep down, I want him to win the division. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's like my ceiling is they'll win the division. They're going to play sound football. We'll see.
I've been excited too, just with some of the waiver wire pickups. Like their line was a huge gaping hole, and I feel like it's not obviously stellar, but they're starting to shore it up a little bit, which is nice to see.
Yeah, moving Tevin Jenkins to guard seems to be the solution. That's they named him as the starter today.
Yes,
that's finally been announced. So they have their starting crew on the line. I think the only position that's kind of wishy-washy is center. I think Lucas Patrick, if and when he becomes healthy, he's going to take that position from Sam Mustipher.
I think you're right.
But they did make the most claims off the waiver wires. They picked up I think it was the 4th or 14th pick of the 2021 draft in Alex Leatherwood.
Yes, from the Raiders. Yep.
Yes, a lot of Raider fans. So he was garbage, but I think the talk is they're going to move him inside to the guard, kind of like what they did with Tevin Jenkins. Yep. He was playing tackles, so and the thought is that he's going to be a project. He doesn't have to step in. They're not expecting him to start. They're gonna he's got talent there. That's why he went high. So the talk is they're going to move him inside to guard, and supposedly the rumors I've heard is that he's going to be what's his name, Cody Whitehair's replacement, because Cody Whitehair's got 1 year left on his deal, so
makes sense.
He'll be done. And Cody Whitehair's been okay. He hasn't been I don't think he's made the Pro Bowl.
No,
so,
not recently.
He's been okay. He hasn't been great or anything like that. So he's going to be expensive. So it's going to be an expensive signing for a guy that's been average.
If I'm not mistaken, he's one of the highest paid players on the team right now too.
He might be. Yep.
Yeah.
They also picked up Armin Watts from the Vikings. He plays defensive lineman. He kind of plays the inside interior lineman. Armin Watts started and played for the Vikings last year and got 5 sacks, I think, on the interior.
Okay, that's not bad.
It was kind of a surprise. I think Viking fans I saw that were surprised that he was let go. So that was a good pick. That you get a guy who's young and has starting experience. Josh Blackwell, defensive back. Kingsley Jonathan, defensive end. Sterling Weatherford is a linebacker, and Trayvon Wesco is a tight end. I just saw today too that the Bears have the youngest roster in the NFL. Okay. And that's in with one year of Ryan Poles, being in charge. He's was rostered and got rid of a lot of the older players that were on the team. So that's great. It's good to get young. That's what you want from a rebuilding team. So we'll see. I think they're going to win more than 3 games. I think they should beat I think it was Vegas had them at 6.5. I think that they can beat that. I think they can easily go 7-9. Is it 7-9 or is it
7-10 now?
7-10. Yeah, 8-9. I think that's realistically a good ceiling, but we'll see. I really don't know what the Packers defense is going to be like. If obviously they have Aaron Rodgers, so I think they're still the favorite to win. But I think the Bears are going to probably be the biggest surprise, just because all the national pundits are on them now.
They were ripping on him, and then I saw Louis Riddick said they're going to be the worst team in the league, and then the other day he was interviewed and he's like, don't sleep on them. It's like, okay, now you're all changing your tune now after that Browns Bears preseason game. But and then I keep thinking they're going to have so much salary cap space next season to make some moves to help acclimate the team and improve it. Yep. So for the first time in a long time, I am genuinely and again, cautiously is the proper word here, but cautiously optimistic. And I'm actually looking forward to watching, is it Bears 49ers next week to start, I believe.
Yep, on 9/11.
I don't know how that game's going to go because the 49ers, I don't know. I don't know how they are. I know they got Trey Lance now instead of Jimmy G, but Jimmy G's still on the team, but
yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, they got a good defense, so
yeah, it's a good measuring stick to come out and just see how they do.
Yep. The first game of the season it'll be good test for both Matt Eberflus and Ryan Getzey. And it'll be interesting to see what the game plan is going to be because I would assume that it's going to be the offense is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's going to be a little bit more in depth than what they were running for preseason.
Sure.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be hopefully we'll be pumped going into week 2 and not be I guess. I won't be on here going, well, I guess I was completely wrong. I guess they'll hopefully maybe they'll only win 3 games or 4 games and they'll still beat the projection. But
yeah,
I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think, so many drives under Nagy were just killed by false starts and just dumb penalties. I don't think that's going to be, I really hope that that's not going to be a thing. It doesn't seem like it from what preseason's been. They've been pretty fundamentally sound. So we'll see. I'm not really buying into the 49ers offense with Trey Lance, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm for the first time in I don't know how many seasons, like I said, looking forward to watching the Bears game, but like in the past, I don't know, say decade, I would look forward to watching the Bears because I just couldn't wait to see how they were going to screw it up. It was like that episode of The Simpsons where Lenny and Carl are watching Homer and they're like, be quiet, he's going to do something stupid. That was the Bears. It was like, how can they blow it? And then turning on WGN radio and listening to like Dan Hampton and Ed O'Branovich and I can't remember who the third guy is, but somebody else from the 85 Bears. Just like having a coronary because they're so upset with this team. It's like, this is not unusual. This happens every year. Yeah. So even if they're not great, if they fight for 500 and they show growth and Justin Fields starts to make that, next big step, I'll be excited to watch. So,
yep.
All right. Well, it's time to move on to the second edition of our next segment, Musical Mayhem. Musical Mayhem, looking for the good music.
I had a few hits a few years ago. Twin Lakes Polka, Damavuji Polka.
The bad music.
Why not? Well, it's sentimental, tacky crap. That's why not. Do we look like the kind of store that sells I just called to say I love you? Go to the mall.
And everything in between to find new stuff for you to listen to.
Holland Oates, you're like Peter Gabriel. Holland Oates is 2 separate people. No, Holland is his first name and Oates is his last name.
Join us on this journey, won't you? All right, Vinny, thank you so much for cleaning up those audio clips. You're going to have to tell me how you used, was it Audacity for that?
Well, I used a combination of voice meter.
Okay.
No,
well,
it was just voice meter where I just grabbed them from. So
I was going to say, you're going to have to show me that because that was really good, the way you put that together. Okay. So thank you. Do you want to take over again?
Sure. Why
All right, Vinny,
not?
Take it away.
This is the whatever segment, I guess episode or Volume 2 of Musical Mayhem. Wow, we're off to a roaring
We're off to
start
a great
here.
start.
Yeah. But yes, this is Musical Mayhem where we pick 5 random artists and listen to their music and try to report what our favorite songs were on them. If you would like to join along, you can listen to those. We'll try to put those out on Twitter or Facebook as soon as possible. Or if we do that at the end of an episode, we will also put it in the episode. So yeah, this week we had the 5 artists were Bonobo, Jimmy Buffett, Jimi Hendrix, Neil Young, and Nirvana, which I think overall, Justin, I don't know how you felt about it, but this was a better group than the last one, I'd say.
There was at least 2 that I've listened to on a regular basis.
It
so
wasn't,
that was
I
good.
don't think, as diverse as
No.
the last one where we had like what was it, Tony Bennett and Tyler the Creator.
Dr. Dre.
It was all over the place.
Tyler the Creator might be one of the worst musicians ever. Just throwing that out there, but man, I could not find anything I liked by that guy.
That was tough. Yeah,
that was really tough.
This one was not nearly as tough to listen to. I can't speak for you. I can speak for myself, but yes, not having Tyler the Creator made it a little easier to listen to because Bonobo wasn't that bad.
No, I would take Bonobo any day over Tyler the Creator. And I don't even know who or what Bonobo is, but
I still don't know either. After listening to a lot of his music, I still don't know what genre it would be. I guess instrumental EDM.
Instrumental like lo-fi trance. I don't know. It's not Euro music. I don't know what it would be called.
What I compared it to would be like some of the clothing stores my wife would take me to, and that music would be playing in there. That's the closest I could get to him. Like, oh man, I feel like I had listened to this.
I've heard this before.
Being dragged through some clothing store on Michigan Avenue or something.
Oh
visiting
God,
Chicago.
Vinny, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
okay.
perfect.
How would you rank these artists, Justin? I know we did that last time.
Okay. I'm gonna
let you rank them again. We'll go in that order then.
All right. I would go Nirvana, Jimi Hendrix, Neil Young, Bonobo, Jimmy Buffett. I can say with 100% certainty, and no one's gonna respond to me, but I hate Jimmy Buffett with a passion. His music, I'm sure he's a lovely man. I maybe he's not. I don't know, but oh God, that music it hurt my ears to go through and listen to his catalog. Which I know you are a self-proclaimed parrot head or a closet parrot head. I don't know, but
I guess I'm just a
parrot head. In passing,
so. I like his music. Yes, I enjoy Jimmy Buffett's music for what it is. I don't think he's some great artist. I mean, his music is it's fine.
Is he the definition of like yacht rock? No. Douchebag rock.
I hate
Sorry.
No, it's just like kind of.
It's fun. I get
island living music.
Cheeky. It's kind of
cheeky. Cheeky. What are you British?
I don't know.
No, it's not cheeky. I don't know. It's like island living music. It's
sure
beach music, I guess.
Sure. Beach music. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't
beach
call
bum.
it yacht rock. I think yacht rock. I think like 80s music.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I wouldn't call it yacht.
And I know we talked about this before the show started. My dad is a gigantic Jimmy Buffett fan. I know he's been to his concert at least once.
I've been to one concert.
And I shouldn't say he dragged. My mom and sister bought him tickets, and then they got dragged along. They knew better than to buy a fourth ticket for me. I did not go because this was when I still lived at home in college, I think. So I did not go to that. But
you should have went. You would have had a good time.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't know. It's
a good party. It's a pretty wild party there.
Yeah, I don't know. That was also before I had anxiety meds,
there.
So that probably would have been. Look at all these.
Justin, they would have served you the drinks that you like. They would have served
that's
Mai Tais
true.
and
Mai
drinks
Tais and
umbrellas in
pina
it.
coladas. Yeah,
that's right up your alley.
Oh, now I have a taste for pina colada.
I think you would actually fit in. I think now
I might fit in. I just
you
would have to bring earbuds or something.
I don't know.
Not
that bad.
Volcano. Ugh. And Son of a Sailor.
You are the son of a sailor.
I am a son of a sailor. My dad thinks he's a sailor. Not a real sailor. Scuba diver. Son of a scuba diver, but yeah. All right, so who should we start with,
We'll
Vinny?
start with Jimmy Buffett since he was your
right.
lowest ranking. We'll just get that out of the way for you.
Let's get it out of the way. All right. The one I picked, I feel like I'm pulling a Pretzel Vince here and picking Blackstreet's No Diggity for Dr. Dre here. But I found a cover or a version of Lionel Richie's All Night Long in which Jimmy Buffett sings the second half of the song. So I'm going to go with that because that was at least tolerable because I like Lionel Richie and All Night Long.
So it's Lionel Richie singing All Night Long and Jimmy Buffett happens to have
he sings a couple of verses. It's Lionel Richie featuring Jimmy Buffett.
That's Lionel Richie's song. That doesn't even count.
Yeah, but Jimmy Buffett, he's in it.
It would count if Jimmy Buffett did it live at a concert or something. But
he might have. He might have. Hold on here. Let's.
I don't think so.
That was the only one I listened to, and I'm like, oh God, this is all right. What about? Oh God, this is awful too. Oh God. 5 o'clock somewhere. That is. I hate that song with a passion.
It's a good song too.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
That's 'cause, oh God.
shit, I don't know where that song went. But yeah, it was
not real.
I swear to God, it wasn't bad just because I like All Night Long by Lionel Richie, which would definitely be like a beach song.
Cheating.
I guess he did a cover of Brown Eyed Girl, I guess, which would be okay.
Okay.
He also
I know that
did
song. It's good.
His cover of Mele Kalikimaka, I guess, is all right if we're gonna go Christmas route. But fins to the left, fins to the right. Put a fin in my brain. Oh my God! I'm telling you, this was painful, Vinny. I don't mean to offend you. It was painful. I have horror dreams of my father just singing "Son of a Sailor, and he just going on and on and on. And I'm like, I don't care.
Just because of that one song, you
don't
like
No, that's just one of many songs of Jimmy Buffett I don't like, but I'm sure he's a love. Or that I remember in college I had XM in my car. No, I'm sorry, not after college. It was when I got my first job. I had XM, and then my dad liked it when I would, when he'd ride with me wherever we were going. So he got XM in their car, and he always had the Margaritaville station on.
That's a good
always.
Station.
Oh, it was just constant.
You can get that free. You can get that free on your phone. You go to the Margaritaville website and listen to that.
There's a reason it's free, Vinny.
Me and Gretchen.
They're
put
giving
that
it
on all the
away.
time. It's good summer music.
Thank God
Justin,
we're in fall now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Your musical palette is garbage.
It is. It is. It's tainted, like the molds that was in my water mug a little while ago. So.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about you? What is your now? Are you gonna go popular mainstay Jimmy Buffett, or are you going deep in the catalog here?
This is probably deep in the catalog.
Ooh.
I guess I don't know. Again, I'm not like a diehard parrot head, but I'm sure they know all the songs. But this song is Tin Cup Chalice. Do you recognize it?
No, I don't. Let me pull
it's
it up on my
it's a
thing
very
here.
slower song. But it's Jimmy Buffett's first song about the Key West. And it's just a nice slow tune. It's just about him being on the beaches of Key West. You look like you're in pain listening to that, but I enjoy it. I love that song. It reminds me of the beach. It's just a song that I like to listen to. Maybe in the winter time when I would love to be on a beach somewhere. Cause that song just kind of transports you right to you're on the beach with a tin cup chalice full of wine and, chewing on some honeysuckle.
What the hell's a honeysuckle? Is that a plant?
It's a vine.
It's a vine. You chew on it?
It's a plant.
Oh.
He does in the song.
Apparently he does.
My father-in-law is growing a honeysuckle vine, so I'm going to have to break some off and chew on it. I'll let you know how it is.
We need to do this in the podcast in the summer.
There we go.
You can do that. All right. Fair enough. Well, hey, I'm happy for you. You like Jimmy Buffett. Good for you. That's all I got. I got nothing else.
Oh, Justin.
I'd be curious if Greg is a Jimmy Buffett fan. I do not know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I need him to back me up here.
The guy who wears all black.
All black every day, all day.
Yeah, that's
black and Volt. Don't forget the Volt. I know he does like his Volt. So.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
All right.
Very
Your
cool.
next was Bonobo.
Yes.
Justin. What was your
so
favorite Bonobo song?
My favorite Bonobo song, and let me pull it up on I know the listeners can't hear it, but let me pull it up on my screen just because I need to hear it. My favorite Bonobo song was a song called Cirrus, Cirrus. It's kind of got chimes, like a drum beat, and obviously being a drummer, I gravitated towards that. Very mellow, but a decent tempo, nothing too crazy, but not too slow. It's just like a bunch of different chimes that feel like he's playing or she, I don't know. It sounds like they're playing you remember like the glockenspiel from music class when you were a kid?
Yep.
Something like that.
I remember listening to that song.
Okay. Something like that. Yeah. Very, very laid back. Honestly, I could see Jimmy Buffett singing over something like this. I'm being dead serious, just because it's kind of got the islandy theme a little bit to it, maybe.
Yeah, it does.
But,
okay.
But yeah, that was my favorite Bonobo song that I was able to find.
Okay. Mine was The Keeper featuring Andrea Triana, I believe. It's kind of like an R&B type of, it's got an R&B rhythm to it. That one I liked. Again, a lot of his music was fine. It kind of just was good background music, but that one kind of stuck out to me that I kind of was paying more attention to than a lot of his other stuff. So that one I did enjoy because that R&B kind of rhythm that it had to it was pretty good.
Yeah, this isn't bad listening to it right now. And I think you said it earlier. It's one of those, like, I could definitely see, like, if I was working from home, I could put a bunch of Bonobo stuff on and work to it in the background. Like, just very, not quite background noise, but just kind of something to veg out to, so to speak. So, that was a nice little surprise to find someone I had never heard of in a million years and probably never would have found in a million years. That if I want some nice background beats, I got somebody I can go to now.
There you go. It's better than Tyler, the Creator.
Oh God,
that you would never would have found of, and really wish that you probably never did.
I was gonna say Tyler, the Creator. I feel like I had heard of, and with the amount of times I had heard the younger generation talking about him, I thought he was actually talented. And I don't know. I'm not in the music industry, so maybe I'm definitely not the talented one. I don't have all the followers and Spotify plays he has, but not a fan.
No.
Not a fan. Could be a really nice guy. I don't know, but not a creator in my book. All right,
Justin. We are moving on. I believe you had Neil Young as your third. What was your favorite Neil Young song?
I gotta preface this. I was kind of surprised. I had a certain envisioning of what Neil Young music sounded like. It is not what I thought it was. It's fine. What
did you expect? I mean, Neil Young he's not like Bonobo or Tyler, the Creator.
No.
He's been around, Justin.
I know who he is. I know who he is. So my favorite song is, and this is one I've known for probably like a good 20 years, and that's "Rockin' in the Free World." That's kind of like I feel like that's an easy one to take. But like I envisioned, that was really the only Neil Young song I knew on a regular basis. So I just imagined all of his music was kind of that, to that extent, kind of, not a harder edge, because it's not a harder edge, but not a lot
of that's like the hardest song I feel like.
Right, and I think that's what I envisioned his music to be. So when I was going through them all, I was like, all right, I'm really going to try and pick something that I don't know. I had a hard time getting into his music. I can definitely see the talent, but just not necessarily for me. But yeah, "Rockin' in the Free World" is definitely one I like to. I still throw on to this day. I think I have it on a Spotify, or I know it's on my iPod still that I have in my car. But
of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, exactly. How about you?
All right. For me, I had "Harvest Moon." I don't know if that came. It's one of his popular songs. This song reminds me. My wife loves this song, so this song reminds me of my wife when I hear it. So, it's very slow. It's again kind of keeping in like the Jimmy Buffett. It's just a nice melodramatic song. You're talking about a harvest moon. I really don't know. I had never really listened to the words too much. I just know that it plays. My wife likes it, and she likes to dance to it. So I picked Harvest Moon because it reminds me of my wife.
That's a good pick. Yeah, I definitely feel like I've heard this before. I feel like that's a song I'd hear at a wedding. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like a wedding vibe.
I'm sure my wife's probably heard that. Well,
maybe it was at your wedding that I heard that song. I don't know.
I don't think so.
No,
we didn't play that one. No.
Okay. Yeah, not bad. All right. Yeah, definitely different than "Rockin' in the Free World." That's for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff they did with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
And I know I told you this before the show. I don't even know why I'm admitting this. I had no idea that it used to be Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. I just always assumed it was always Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Other breaking news: water, wet.
Shocking, Justin. I am shocked that you didn't know. Yeah.
I had to appreciate, though, I don't know about you, but I love that with it being September 1st, how many radio stations today played "Do You Remember" by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the... Do you remember 1st of September? 31st of September? I don't know what the lyric is, but...
Yeah,
I feel like that's a recent thing, like internet thing that was never usually a thing in the past, but yeah.
What?
I don't know. The whole playing Earth, Wind, and Fire on September 1st, but...
I guess I
never really remember it growing up.
That's kind of like the end of April. It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Justin
Timberlake,
Justin Timberlake, yeah. I can't. Yep. I was just gonna say Justin Fields. My mind is still there.
Next May, you make a meme with Justin Fields' face saying it's gonna be May. It won't make any sense because it's not Justin Timberlake's
song. No, it only makes sense to us. It's an inside joke. I hope to be a part of one someday. Oh, moving on.
Yes,
I believe you had Jimi Hendrix as
your
number 2.
Jimi Hendrix. This is one that I had a hard time. I have it on my iPod. I know that much. But even like I like to go back and look and see. Granted, I'm probably one of the few people that still uses iTunes and not Apple Music and Spotify. But like, I love going through when we do this and looking at the popularity meter to see how popular the songs are. This one was really popular by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, but not Jimi Hendrix himself. This one's really low popularity for Jimi Hendrix himself, and that is Spanish Castle Magic.
Interesting.
Have you ever heard that song?
I have not. I'm going to have to listen to it.
Great. It's got a great guitar part. I'll be honest, the only way I ever actually found this song wasn't from looking through this, but this song was an instrumental on the first Guitar Hero. And I remember like loving to play it. I didn't realize it was Jimi Hendrix because it was just an instrumental. Instrumental. But the actual song with the lyrics, it's phenomenal. It's got the guitar part is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So, yeah.
Okay. Good.
Highly
choice.
recommend that one.
I'll have to give that one a listen. I did not expect that from you. A deep cut from you, Justin.
Deep cut. I know. When do I ever throw out deep cuts, Vinny?
Not unless it's 90s music.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
For me, I think I said "When the Wind Cries Mary" was.
Okay.
I think I had listed that. Had listed that as a favorite song of mine on this podcast before, but this actually isn't my favorite Jimi Hendrix song. It was right up there. It's probably my 1B to my 1A, but my 1A is Red House by Jimi Hendrix. Okay. That is my favorite Jimi Hendrix song. It is a bluesy song. Definitely his blues guitar playing in that is phenomenal. It's the lyrics too are great. It talks about, he's going to his girlfriend's house or his baby's house, as he says, and he can't open the door, that the locks have been changed. And at the end of the song, he says that he's, if my baby doesn't love me anymore, I guess I'll go back to the other side of the hill because I know her sister will. So he hasn't been faithful to his girlfriend or his woman because he's been sleeping around with his girlfriend's sister. So it's, always love a good blues song that's, kind of sad and stuff like that, but then it's kind of got that little, I guess you would call it, Justin, cheeky part of the song, which is the ending, which is great. But his guitar playing in that is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'm listening to it right
favorites. Now. I think it accentuates just how talented he was on the guitar, which he was a very talented guitar player. So yes, my favorite Jimi Hendrix song is Red House.
This is somebody who, I have a very broad listening or broad history with Jimi Hendrix. I always just envision like lighting the guitar on fire, Star Spangled Banner and all that. And like I said, Spanish Castle Magic is a really hard guitar song, and a lot of his more well-known stuff is much more harder. But I did not realize in listening to all these, he had like a really cool jazz side to him too. And this song definitely speaks to that. So I might have to do a little bit more of a deep dive on some of that and go back and listen to it. So for sure. Good choice.
Okay, Justin, we're on to the last artist. This is Nirvana. You had as your number 1. So what is, now just one, I'm sure you probably could name like, you got 2.
I got 2, but I'm not going to pick 2.
Since Greg's not here and he didn't give us a list.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You can do 2. You can say one of his is his. How about that?
I'm not going to do that. I know what I'm going to do. My honorable mention.
I'm giving it to you,
I know.
Justin.
No, I don't want it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna tuck that away for a time when I do need it.
I'll never. This is a one.
This is it. It's a one-time deal. Well, in that case, Lithium would be my 1B. I love Lithium. Just love that song. But the other one I really enjoy because I used to be able to play this on the drums, and that is In Bloom. Again, really popular Nirvana song, but just love how the verses are very Kurt Cobain is very not melancholy, but very low key in the way he's singing. And then when they get to the chorus, it's just him like yelling and screaming, and then he dials it back down for the verses. So that like up and down I just loved, and the drum part is so much fun to play from what I remember. It's been a long time. But yeah, that is definitely one that was on Nevermind. Yeah, that's just all I can really say. Dave Grohl's drumming part in that is phenomenal. And if you want to buy it on iTunes, it's 69 cents today. So I don't know. I'm probably the last person that still buys music on iTunes because I'm an idiot.
Think so.
So
yep.
You would be proud of me though.
You're not an idiot. You're just
old fashioned. I did have before the open house and before the parents came to school today, I did have Spotify going, and I had my free playlist playing today. So
there you go.
I'm getting there. It's going to take a long time to dig up all the music I need to transfer over. So
I guess.
All right. What about you, Vinny? I'm very curious to see what you got.
Now my song is kind of, when you said yours, was it In Bloom?
Yes, In Bloom.
What was it called? Okay, I wrote it down, so I'll have to give it a listen.
Yeah.
But I know we talked about this off air, but I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan. I really never was. I don't know why. I appreciate their music,
sure,
and what they did kind of for what they did for the grunge scene.
Right.
You wouldn't have had bands like Blink-182 probably, and Green Day take off like they did if it wasn't for Nirvana. So I appreciate what they did, but their music just never really clicked that well with me where I just had to listen to them like other bands. But I do appreciate their music. I can listen to their music without being like I got to turn this off.
Sure.
But my favorite song kind of reminds me of kind of that up and down like you had said, but it's All Apologies.
Oh, good
I
song.
like that song.
Yep.
It kind of starts off slow and then like really picks up. It's got a good drum beat in it. I think listening to it, it's just to me I kind of like just like that slow build up, and it just kind of rocks at the end.
Yep.
So yeah, my favorite Nirvana song is All Apologies, but Lithium was up there too. I listened to that and was like, oh, that might be my favorite one, but yep, I listened to All Apologies again. I was like, yeah,
that's a good song.
I have to go with that one. So.
That one's kind of a classic too. I think they did a version of that on MTV Unplugged, which was very popular at the time. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, like
okay.
I think you nailed it, and I kind of feel the same way now in high school, and we might have talked about this when we pulled these 2 weeks ago, but like I didn't get into Nirvana until high school, so I was I think Nevermind came out in 93, 91, so I was like about 7-8 years behind.
Yeah.
And when I got into high school, and that's when I started playing the drums, like I got deep into Nirvana. That was also when I was downloading tons and tons of music. So,
legally, of course.
Legally, yes, of course. I was sending checks to the band, but yeah, like I got really into it, and then by the time I got out of high school, I still appreciated them, like you said, but like I was good. I didn't need to listen to it anymore. Like I had my fill, but it's been so long now since I really dove deep. Like it was a lot of fun to go back and listen to a lot of their catalog, because I was like, oh god, I remember this, or cruising around where I grew up in my 4-door Ford Escort blasting Lithium or Smells Like Teen Spirit with my neon lights and spoiler on my car. It brought back some good memories. So
nice.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad it took you down memory lane. That's what this, part of the whole process is, to kind of rediscover bands we may have listened to, while also discovering new bands and new artists. So
yes,
I'm glad that we kind of checked both those off the list for you, Justin.
We did. We got a little bit of everything. So next time we do, the third version of this, God only knows what we will pull. It'll be interesting. So
probably Taylor Swift.
You know what? I'd be okay with that. I like quite a few Taylor Swift songs, which I'm sure doesn't surprise you.
No, it doesn't. Should we get to the listener submissions?
Yes, we have a few.
Right.
So
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, Chris wrote in, friend of the show, Chris, that was on a couple months or quite a few months back now, talking to us
year,
what it was like. Yeah,
probably.
last year. Thank you. How long have we been doing this now? What it was like to work for the White Sox.
Seems like just yesterday.
Oh, God. But he said Jimi Hendrix. He said All Along the Watchtower, which, yeah, that is like a quintessential Jimi Hendrix song. Definitely a good
the most
pick by
popular
Chris.
one of his on Spotify.
For sure. That makes sense.
Joe writes in. I don't know Joe. Do you know
Joe? Yes. I went to grade school and high school with Joe.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Joe writes in his favorite Jimi Hendrix song is Hey Joe. I wonder if that's because his name is Joe.
It could be. Could be.
Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, plus Come As You Are, both good songs.
I will admit, when I was a kid, I enjoyed Weird Al's cover of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit more.
The only one I think of.
Yeah.
When I hear that song, I just
think of
I was a big Weird Al fan growing up.
What is it? How can I talk with all these marbles in my mouth?
Yes.
I believe is one of the lyrics. Yeah.
And then he's gargling water during it.
And supposedly Kurt Cobain and all them loved it. They felt like they made it when he wanted to finally parody them. They were like all excited because it was like, we've made it. Weird Al knows who we are now. So
like the complete opposite of Coolio.
Oh God, Coolio couldn't take a joke, I guess. But,
no, but. Yes.
All right.
Those are two great songs. You're up next.
Shelly on Twitter wrote in and said Shelly wrote in on Twitter and said Voodoo Child, which again another
that is a great song.
Quintessential Jimi Hendrix for sure.
Just the classic, the opening with the guitar. Oh, that is great.
All right, we got go ahead. You want to talk about Pretzel Vince next?
Hey everybody, an old man's talking.
I was whenever we do these music shows, I'm very curious because to get his thoughts on things I know he does not listen to is very interesting.
Yeah, he actually does the homework too.
He does.
I guess I can dare say I'm proud. I don't know if I should go that far. I don't want him to get too big of a head. He's already got a big enough one already as it is. I'm not talking size wise. I'm just talking. He thinks highly of himself sometimes. Well, when he looks in the mirror and he says that he gets, every day he looks in the mirror, he thinks he's getting better looking every day. Yes, I think.
I've never heard that version of this story.
Oh gosh, yes, he says that a lot.
Good to know.
Yes, but Pretzel Vince writes in, I digress and get us back on track here. His favorite Hendrix is Anything Is Great by him, but if he had to pick one, Along the Watchtower is his favorite one.
Sure.
Jimmy Buffett, That's My Story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't think I know that one.
No, I don't either.
No. His favorite Bonobo one is Shadows. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Neil Young, he thought his best work was with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, but his favorite Neil Young song is Old Man, which I listened to that one today.
I do know that one.
Right.
That one I do know. The thought of your dad rocking out to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
He was not a fan of Nirvana.
No?
He said that Nirvana sounded, their songs all sounded very similar. Which
I can see some of that being the case, yeah.
I can see that too, and unfortunately I remember him telling me that all the time on, bands and stuff I would listen to, that they all sound the same. I always thought he was full of it, but now I guess I'm getting to that age where now I can see that.
Do you think some of that has to do with like that grunge sound just like permeates everything they did?
I think so, and plus, a lot of the vocals too that they had, Kurt Cobain was kind of more yelling.
Yeah,
it was more of a yell with it, which is part of that grunge style. So yeah, I think that's just kind of the style, and the vocals on it were just yelling sometimes, and that happened almost in every song. So,
yeah.
I can kind of see that. But I wouldn't say like, Smells Like Teen Spirit compared to, All Apologies that are
night and day.
They don't sound the same, but
yeah.
His singing and his singing style is the same because he's not, it's not, grunge isn't meant for good vocals.
It's more like distortion pedal guitar and playing as loud as you can. Right?
Yeah. And the vocals are secondary to all of that.
Yeah. It's the music that really speaks for itself,
Right?
But,
yeah. So
Dr. Mantis, I'm so bummed. Dr. Mantis didn't make it into the chat this week, but
no, he didn't.
Dr. Mantis, Nirvana.
He must have gotten his pizza.
He must have gotten his pizza in time. Hope he's full.
Oh yeah.
Heart-shaped box. That is
That's a very good one.
That is I feel like that's a really dark song, but a good one.
Yeah.
But I feel like very dark. Jimmy Buffett is 5 o'clock somewhere.
Your favorite.
Yeah. Neil Young, Heart of Gold. Jimi Hendrix, Fire, another great Jimi Hendrix song. And Bonobo, he wrote No idea who that is. So,
didn't get to get the whole point of listening to
of the musical Mayhem. Yes, he did not. All right. Well, we've made it through another episode, Vinny.
Yeah, we did somehow.
I will have to chat. We don't know what next week's show will be, so stay tuned in that regard. Vinny, you got anything else to wrap up before we call it a night?
I guess shout out to not shout out to, but thoughts and prayers with Hub Arkish. I know we kind of
you rag on him.
Disagree. I just want to rag on him. Disagree with a lot of what he says, but yeah, supposedly he had a medical complication after Bears training camp, and he's in the hospital recovering right now. So thoughts and prayers to him and his family during this time, and hopefully he can recover and give me more bad Bears thoughts to get my blood going.
Yes, I think you nailed it. Like you said, and same thing with Tony La Russa. While we bag on these guys and don't like necessarily their takes, obviously we would never want to wish ill on them. That's one of the great things about sports is being able to disagree. So I think you nailed it, Vinny. All right, well, we will be back next week with more tomfoolery and fun. If you would like to write into the show, don't forget you can find us on Twitter at baseballandwhat, email baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. Tweet us at baseballandwhat, all your podcast apps of choice, and lastly, the text line 913-808-3278. That number again is 913-808-FART. All right, we will be back next week, like I said, with more fun and shenanigans and tomfoolery. See you then, everybody.
Take care.
Peace.